premium essence without any problem.
Hey, congrats, Paulie. Well done. So here we go, guys. We're into the first game of the best of 5 series final. We see Egekaer at least has taken greed already. I think it looks like he's doing exactly what I said. He's taken the greed roll. He's going to see what he can make of it, and then Danz is waiting to choose either lock-in or redraw to cover Egekaer's weakness.
And this is looking like a lock-in for Widderson. Look at what he has right now.
Yeah, that's a priestess lock-in for sure for Widders. So he's expecting to win this game with his comfort roll, and I can't blame him because the guy is an absolute god with priestess. Some
All right.
nice spells for it as well. Titan on an Azaria is busted, dude. That's such a strong combo. And Magician there as well. Who can use the Magician? Well, Egekaer for starters. Egekaer has White Mane. He has Lord of Death. So that is insanely broken in the late game. If you can have a White Mane buff on a couple of Hades with Magician, you can hold crazy sends on waves.
And yeah, so the late game roll from Egekaer is very good, and the early game roll from Kingdanzz is very good on his own. So, and with the Growl going for the Banana Bunk, I think it's a very good, well-rounded early composition. And I think we will go for, we will see something like Kingdanzz playing for the early game and enabling Egekaer for the late game.
Mm-hmm. So something I'd really like to see here actually is Dan's kind of starving a Dams out while Egekaer pushed hard. Because if they can get to the late game, Egekaer wins for
Yeah,
sure because that roll is insane.
yeah, that could be a very good option for them. So yeah, so this is the best of 5. This is the final. And prior teams were eliminated by both Team 2 and Banana Boys. So those are the last 2 teams remaining in the tournament. And yeah, so what do we see here? We see a save from Egekaer onto Widderson. So
A
I
Dams
think
is going to leap here to a snail.
the RP is quite strong with the change now. I think it's enough to clear to a single snail.
Was Harpy changed at all? I thought it was only the Sky Queen.
Oh wait, did I misread?
I could be wrong, but I think it was only the Sky Queen that got buffed.
Oh yeah, right. Yes, I just saw that now. Um,
Yeah, it's going to be a leak from Adams. Not a big one, but a leak nonetheless. Maybe he wanted to leak.
yeah, maybe because that's just more time for the 5 workers they have. But can they hold
And
next?
Widderson has 60 already, so what does he want to send? Widderson's sending at Kingdanzz. If he wants, he can send here. I think he's probably going to go for wave 4, though, and you can have 100 Mythium on wave 4.
Yeah, and Widderson is receiving a fiend. And your
Okay, he's
microphone
going for a Fiend
is
here.
okay. So the microphone of Penny is just lagging a little bit just because of the ping. The server on which the Discord is taking place is unstable right now. I don't know why, but it is unstable. But it should resolve itself in due time. So I'm quite sorry for the robotic voice for now, but it should resolve itself.
I've got 20 MS ping on my
Yeah.
side,
So
so it
so
might be
you're
something on
fine.
yours.
It's just
I
spikes.
can.
It's just spiking sometimes. It's very fine.
Okay, let me know if it gets worse. I can always like restart Discord.
Yeah, no problem. So Alamos did receive a 40 recent. And it did not Arden, so this might still be a leak. This is for RPs though, but that's a lot of
Well, Harpies are
upper.
not great on wave 3 though, so they do reduce damage against natural defense, and they also take bonus damage from the magic.
Yeah, and Widderson is holding this easy, uh, nonetheless. So it's only at 33%, and Egekaer leaks harder.
It's only 33% on a dams, but he leaked 33% on 2 as well. So a pro leak is fine. Like leaking 33%, not a problem. But you leak 33% on every wave, then it's a problem.
Yeah. But now he's pretty strong from that point because he has enough RPs for 4. That's for sure. Even though now adding more frontline, and so this enables him to be strong on both wave 5 and 6 if he goes for the Royal Guard, but he's vulnerable on wave 7 right now. But Egekaer going for income again against Widderson. And we will see a repeat of what happened on the game from Widderson against it was not Young Kamayonka. It was Ashton and SSP going heavy income into Widderson, and Widderson going crazy on workers. I think it's a 9 worker now for the priestess.
Yeah, Widderson is not the sort of player that you want to feed because he's shown us how strong he can snowball when he wants to. He's leaking.
Yeah, that's quite
So
surprising.
maybe
The
with that
reduced
leak,
health.
I think with that leak, he's going to stay on 8 workers. I think if
Yeah.
he cleared there, he would have gone 9.
And that's what you see here is the perfect example of what the change from the priestess did. The reduced HP that they receive just made it so that it's more vulnerable to lizards.
Seraphin in the chat saying he's going to watch how Kingdanzz is going to carry this game. But the problem is, Egekaer's the carry dude. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, and look at the roll also. The roll is just pointing towards Egekaer into a carry roll.
Yeah, like the joke is that Kingdanzz always gets carried by Egekaer, but in this game it's really true because Egekaer has an insane late game roll.
Yeah, 120 on the Serpent player, which is Egekaer. No, wait. No, it's Adamas receiving the 120. Sorry. Misread that. It is against a Royal Guard, so the Royal Guard should do very good, but apart from that, there's no damage. The RPs are
Yeah,
not
that's
that
the
great.
problem. That's the problem. You know, in Legion you always need to balance. You can't just have tanks. He's got great tanks for the wave, but he has no damage for the wave. So even though the Royal Guard takes
Oh.
forever to kill, he can't clear the wave fast enough, and he is going to leak. Not big. He's going to leak a snail and a cannoneer, but still, if he had some kind of DPS, he probably would have held.
Yeah, sorry, I need to change the side because they didn't have the right side. Thank you, Seraphim, for pointing it out. So I'll be back very soon. Nothing to worry about. It's not that
No
big of a
problem.
change.
You focus on that, and I'll cover this. So we see Kingdanzz upgrade into a Harbinger here, making him very strong on both 6 and 7. He is getting a send here, so Widderson probably going to send over 3 friends on 6, which is his favourite send. Maybe close second behind 4 friends on 7. Kingdanzz, I think, holds here. He's got great tank in the Grawl, and he's got a lot of swift HP in the split. And the Harbinger does so much damage on wave 6 that it can clear those mobs in 2 hits.
The Harbinger, yes.
So both players on Team 2 on close to 700 value. I think this is a hold for them, and a really important hold, because holding here against those sends puts you in a fantastic position for the rest of the game. Meanwhile, Widderson does leak versus a Cannoneer, and I've got to say that's a mistake from him, not protecting his priestess well enough.
Oh yeah, but that's the strength of the Cannoneer against the priestess.
Meanwhile, Kingdanzz leaking 63%, and I've got to say that's really, really unlucky focus for him. Look at this, and this. 2 Roccos on really low HP, 1 Brute on really low HP, and he only has single target damage. So it's just wave 6 fighting him in the ass.
Yeah, and this is a hold from Adamas covering Widderson here. And so now the teams are now on the right side. So now it should be easier to follow for everyone. And this is 31% damage, king damage taken already for Team 2. So very strong position to be in for the Banana Boys.
I've got to say that was just really, really unlucky from Kingdanzz, because with it didn't even need to be much better, just slightly better focus, and he holds that entire wave.
Yes, exactly. With the positioning of the Harbinger, it was supposed to be very good protected. But after the Growl died, everything just went on the Harbinger.
Yeah, and it was three of his single target units all attacking separate Roccos and bringing them all down. Like you saw, one on 4%, a
Yeah.
Brute on 7%, and another Rocco with less than a third of its HP. If you focus one of those units and kill it, and then the next and kill it, he clears the whole wave like easily.
Oh yeah, and there's already comments about the wave 6 pathing.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
Okay, so but this still allowed Kingdanzz to go for the 11 worker push. He's still ahead of everyone in the game, and part of the reason why is that he's saving quite a lot of lithium onto Adamas.
We didn't need to build anything here. So he already had 700 value. He already had a good setup for wave 7.
Ooh.
He is weak on 8 though, but we don't see a send coming out.
We see the ogre.
Oh, and I take it back because he had a Growl, so he's now going to have a Banana Bunk for wave 8. So
Oh
he
yeah,
is
and that's
not weak
perfect.
on wave 8. He's not even close to weak on wave 8.
And he's able to build the split also for the banana bug, which is perfect. You always want the banana bug to be on a split tanking formation, like what Kingdanzz did, because if the banana bug takes all of the wave, then the passive is not as effective, and you don't get the full value of both the DPS and the spell of the banana bug.
Yeah. So when is your next send then if you're Banana Boys?
I don't know,
11?
but after the send received from Adamas, I think they can go for 10, but this is a massive lead coming from Adamas.
Yeah, that Ogre was just fantastic for him. So it tanked all of the damage, just got killed at the last second, and an 83% leak from Adams means he only killed one of the Cobras.
Honestly, I want to see a resend from Kingdanzz here. The Harpies are the only source of DPS from Adamas. And the resend is coming from Kingdanzz, and Egekaer is following also. Egekaer with 3 brutes right now, but we see the Banana Boy still saving, and the cover from Widderson is just perfect right now.
They can leak on wave 9 though.
Yeah, they can
So
leak quite easily. But let's see what the amount of gold they have. We have 225 to spend on Widderson. He can
so he
still
can't
harden.
afford a Golem. He's going for a second Mudman, and he has 85 gold
I
remaining. So what
think
does
it
he
would be
go
the
with there?
Dark Mage somewhere, either
Yeah,
here
Dark
or
Mage
here,
isn't bad.
and decide for more tanks.
But 3 Brutes is a big send, and all he has is 2 Mudmen against it.
And easy
He
hardening or
needs to
not?
harden. He needs to harden. He's not hardening.
That's a misplay.
Maybe they thought they're not going to get a big send because Adam's just had a send on 8, but they'd be wrong.
Yeah, because Adamas was just super weak on 9 either, and super weak on 9 either way.
Neither player holding means big leaks coming out from both players on Banana Boys.
And that's good revenge damage here.
Yeah.
Do we see Adamas killing 1 brute at least? No, we don't.
He just lost focus on it on the last second.
A 2
The
HP
Harpy that
brute.
was attacking it
2
died.
HP brute.
Yeah, this is a lot of king damage now. It's going to bring them lower than Team 2.
Oh yeah, this might bring them down to 30% or around.
I'm going to say 50.
Maybe
And
you're
I'm
right.
going to be wrong, it's going much lower than 50.
It will be exactly 40% between our two calls.
Yep.
Yeah,
Cast as curse.
exactly.
See,
Well,
between us, we make a smart player.
yeah, hey, when you have two, you have someone going lower and one going higher, and then you have the average.
That's why I'm a washed up clown, dude. Rank 1 Penny would have known
But
exactly
look
how
at
much damage that
this.
was.
Look at this. Sure, they took a lot of king damage, right? Kingdanzz and Egekaer are well above value. That's for sure.
And they're king upping here.
They're chaotic.
So, after these king ups, we're going to see more worker push from Adams and Widderson. No offensive spell, unfortunately.
No, but it prevents a venture. But they
It
cannot
does, and
take.
it means that Adams and Widderson can have a free one if they want to.
I
Although,
don't think
honestly,
they
I
are in
think
a
Titan
position.
is better for Widderson.
Yeah, I don't think they are in a good position to take it because they lost a lot of income, so they don't have the income to sustain the adventure.
And big Sen's coming out.
Ghost Knight on the Samurai Soul player. That is a very good decision here
And a
because the
Pro
Ghost
League
Knight
from
will
Adams
not
as
die.
well. This Pro League's fantastic from
Oh
him.
my god.
So what else does he want to send? Maybe an ogre to sit behind the Ghost Knight and just kill that bunk / Haven really
What I
quickly.
like to do in the shoes of Adamus is to go for a massive tank and go for a pack leader because the pack leader will buff all of the quill shooters which attack very
Yeah,
fast.
that's a good call as well. Yeah.
But he decides to go for pure damage here with the Hermit as well. I'm not quite sure about the Hermit call yet again.
Yeah, he's probably expecting a Banana Haven, in which
Oh
case
yeah.
the Hermit's pretty good for healing all that reflect damage. But Widderson, Adams is sending a Hermit as well, and that really does nothing against Egekaer's build.
And yeah, so we have the Titan Banana Haven, but the 4i is still a very good sin against that. Especially when
Mind
you
you,
don't
look at
have.
Egekaer's value.
Oh yeah, they have the value to push all their gold for 2 waves, honestly. Uh,
But Egekaer already has the
okay.
Lord of Death with a Magician buff
Yeah,
and a
so
White Mane buff. So one of the best units. The problem is it's focusing the Ghost Knight, so it's not cleaning up the wave creeps.
and the Drake finally is a good decision to be able to clear the White Mane quite fast, but it's not enough to make him leak. They hold
Okay, the
that.
Ghost Knight is down. That was looking scary for a minute there with the Lord of Death wasting all of its DPS against the Ghost Knight. But a hold against 500 Mythium on wave 11. That's
And
amazing, actually.
that's a big fell long save, and that's gonna hurt both Adamus and Widderson.
Well, it
Because
is,
look
but
at
I've
the
got to
gold.
say that Egekaer was on 8 workers going into wave 11. So although it hurts Adams and Widderson, they've successfully kept Egekaer down. And like we said at the start, he has the carry role.
Yeah, but look at the gold now.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah, that's a 1k advantage.
So that's the problem. If your long save does not work, that means that you all the gold you left out in income to the enemy means that you're gonna lose all that gold, and that's the gold difference you see right on top.
And meanwhile, Adams can leak pretty hard here on 12.
Yeah, because he took venture here. He did not go for the Harpy's magician.
Yeah, he does harden both Mudmen, which is definitely the right play. They're not making the same mistake they did on wave 9.
So let's see how it goes here. The ogre is getting targeted quite fast here for Widderson, so it's gonna die. But now no tanks remaining for him, and 1 gate is not enough. So I think this will be a leak from Widderson, and this is definitely a leak for Adamus.
They're
40
calling
creeps
GG.
is quite a lot. Yeah, this is looking like a game here. So first game going to team 2, it looks like. Yes, it is.
Victory.
So check your messages, and Kane and Egekaer will probably send us what they used.
Do you have Kingdanzz added, by the way?
Yeah, I have. You can message me. So
I'll send him a request anyway.
uh, so yeah. So what was the turning point? Wait, I need to change the scoreboard.
The turning point was wave 9, for sure, in this game. So neither Widderson or Adams hardening their Mugman on wave 9, and then leaking super hard. So they took 60% king damage there on wave 9, and that was a massive turning point for them.
Yeah, the brute on Widderson really made a huge difference. He did not harden that wave also. So
Well, the wave 8's end as well, with the 240 against Adams.
oh yeah.
So he leaked really hard there because of the ogre, and then straight into a resend on 9. And I'm not sure if that wave 8's end maybe gave Adams some false confidence, because obviously we saw neither player hardening their mudmen on 9. Now they wouldn't have held. Like there's no they don't hold that send, but they leak less. And that's the
Yeah,
key thing there because they take so much damage, give so much gold over to team 2. Again, that helps them with the wave 11 send when it comes.
yeah.
And yeah, that's just really strong play from Kingdanzz. The massive send on 8, the smaller resend on 9, and the game is just won at that point already before we even get to see the later waves.
All right. Do you want us to know what they did? I got the
Yeah, tell
answer
me.
here. So you got your spreadsheet ready?
I haven't, but I will make it. Go.
So Kingdanzz took lock-in, and Egekaer took greed.
Yeah, so the lock-in I'm guessing was on the Growl.
Yes, and someone on the chat called it, so good job on the one calling it.
Well, I think if you're locking in, then the Growl is the right play anyway.
Yeah. So the all right. So this is noted, and so now we can go to the next game. Very solid
Let's go.
performance for Kingdanzz and Egekaer, and also a good attempt from Adamus and Widderson to go for the wave 11, but they just leaked too much for that long save to work. And so now Kingdanzz is not allowed to go for lock-in again, and Egekaer is not allowed to go for greed.
And I'll start the columns for Adams and
Wait,
Widders as well, because I
Kingdanzz
do
locked
expect them
in
to win
gate
at least one
guards?
game. He locked in Gate Guard. Wow.
That's
Why did he
amazing.
lock in Gate Guard? Dan's, you gotta tell us why did you lock in Gate Guard? Was that specifically to cover something for Egekaer, or did you just really want that 5 worker start?
Well, that's impressive. He was he did a very good job with the lock-in display.
Yeah, I would never have expected a lock in Gate Guard.
Well, the Gateguard
I
is a
think.
very solid starter because even though they receive a snail, it's only leaking 4 creeps, so it's not at
It's
all
probably good for you. If you're a Gate Guard, it's probably good to leak Wave 1. The
yeah.
thing is, I think it's really weak on 2 and 3 and 4. So I don't know.
And yeah, so but I think that the idea behind it is that if you lock in a fighter, um, all the probability changes, right? So if you lock in a impact and fortified unit, then you have a higher chance of having other stuff that is pierce, right?
Yeah, true, true, true. I didn't really think about it that way.
And so if you have a very strong impact damage DPS, you won't get something like a bazooka for considering the impact damage. And so
And
that
straight
might,
away, Dan's and Widderson both snap pick and greed,
oh
and
yeah.
both of their teammates waiting. So they're gonna again wait and see what they can take from this role, and then get their mates to cover.
I think they'll do Egekaer for a lock-in right now, and they'll both go for redraw for the last match. So I think they really like the synergy between both greed and one of the other two options, and that seems to be a very good combination. Are you still on, Penny?
I'm still on. I was just advertising your stream in the general chat.
All right.
Um, so yeah, and a Yazora opening from Kingdanzz and a Nightmare from Egekaer. Adams and Widderson yet to build. There's no what I would call steroid spells in this game. Titan good, but just been nerfed.
Yeah.
Hero fine, but I think Hero is not as strong as some of the other options. And Investment, which is just not a spell.
Okay. And yet again, we see something very special on the side of Egekaer and Kingdanzz. We got the Nightmare Butcher for Egekaer, which allow him to be very good in the early and mid game. and you have Starcaller Gates with Steed for the late game and Kingdanzz.
Yeah. So Kingdan's replying in the chat. I locked Gateguard because I saw Magician.
Oh, interesting.
So big brain play. So King and Ashton both saying it's very strong early. You can hold two with almost everything, and okay, great play. Guaranteed 5 worker opener, I suppose.
All right, so careful on those going on the rank ladder from this point on. There will be a lot of locking gate guards.
The problem is they'll do it regardless. They
Yeah, I
won't
know.
look at the spell. They won't look at their mate's roll, and they'll lock in Gateguard and lose.
No, it was just a joke, but yeah, yeah. Sometimes these kind of stuff happens. But we got an Adam start from Kingdanzz, and that's a pretty solid start when you have Steed.
It's a solid start, but it's not what it once was. The problem is that Widderson's just income sending, so he can't
Yeah.
leak it with a brute on 3, which I think, I don't know, dude. Like
Well, I believe this
the start's
allows
been
Kingdanzz to
nerfed.
go for 6 workers, right?
He can, but even that's risky. I think 6 workers would leak to a snail.
Oh, okay. Well, I
He's
think
doing
the
it though.
oh, he's done it. Well, maybe we'll know another. Maybe we'll see a good setup to allow this 6 worker now. Let's just look at it.
What has he got? He's got 60 gold. He can make 3 protons if he wants. The thing is that Widderson's not going to send again. So even though he might have leaked to a snail, he's not going to get it.
So yeah, the 3 protons are coming. Maybe only 2? We don't know. But yeah,
He
the
wants to
income
make sure
sent
that
from
he can.
Kingdanzz and Egekaer on the Violet and a Aqua, which is a pretty reasonable move to just go for income for that.
Yeah, I think so. We're
And
not going to see. Both players are going to hold. There won't be any leaks. But look at the worker lead and the income lead that Dan's has already.
Kingdanzz, yeah. But now Adamas will probably go 7 workers after this 40 cent, but I don't think it will be a smart play because a 40 resend might leak him.
And Dan's will have 40 before income.
And 7 workers. Okay, so this might be a overgreed.
And there's
And
the
this
turtle.
is very close to leaking on the side of Kingdanzz with two protons.
Yeah, yeah. So a snail would have got in there. Not badly though.
But right away the two Adams. And Adamas is not adding anything.
He can't. He's got no gold. He's got 7 workers.
Oh,
I
and
don't know if a
he gets the
DT is
snail.
enough.
Kingdanzz get the snail. And so this means that if he had waited after income, he would have gotten the Fiend, and
He
the Fiend
doesn't
was a
send a snail
guaranteed
though.
hold, guaranteed leak. Sorry.
Oh, Fiend guaranteed leak. Yeah, Fiend quite a bad leak. DT, I think it holds.
It wastes a lot of attacks on it, so I'm not quite sure. I never saw it
Ooh,
in
but
action.
Widderson's leaking though.
Oh,
So greedy Widderson hunting his rat here,
oh
leaking
yeah.
to a lizard.
And this is a small leak, only a small leak on the side of Adamas.
I guess that's yeah. It's not much king damage. It's not that bad for them. And Adam's having 7 workers. You actually don't mind leaking here.
And if they don't see a sand on 5, then this can still be a straight 7.
They're going 5.
They're going 5 against Adams?
Yeah, I don't love it either. And here's Dan's with his gate guard again, his favourite unit. He's
Yeah.
shifting gold though. So this is actually quite a clever play because what Dan's is doing here is he's shifting his 55 gold to make sure he can get a Harbinger on wave 6 where he expects to send. But Banana Boys, knowing that they expect to send on 6, send on 5 and hope to catch them shifting.
And yeah, but the Nightmare here should be able to deal. Oh, maybe that can be a little bit problematic. The 2 brutes targeting the same units again and again, but there's a lot of focus on the Nightmare, with really utilizing the most of the healing aura.
Yeah, the Nightmare can easily tank those Scorpions, so they're doing 0
Oh, but the
damage
Butcher
effectively.
dying before the Eternal Wanderer is not what you want to see here.
Yeah, because now the Nightmare's going to die. And the Nightmare is a lot more dangerous than the Wanderer.
So they do get them, but Widderson's leaking again, but we do see a hold, a solid hold from Adamus, so he covers that. And this is 3 brutes, well, let's say 2, because one is almost dead, on the king. So the return damage will be higher on the side
I,
of...
I'd really like to see a resend here from Banana Boys. I
I
think
don't think they have the
another
Mithium.
brute. But they can still send a brute each, and I think that might be enough.
Yeah, because if you don't go here, you're probably looking to long save to 8, right? With what you see.
Yeah, you can't send 7 against these builds.
And especially if Kingdanzz decides to go for the Harbinger on wave 7. But Pegasus might be a solution here as well.
They're not sending though. I think both players would have leaked against the brute here.
With what Kingdanzz had added, yes. But Egekaer is quite strong. If the targeting is correct, then it could be in a very good position. But right now, if we look at the gold, despite the King Elf advantage on the side of Banana Boys, the early income sense from Team 2 managed to grab just a little bit of a gold advantage, like only a 50 gold advantage, something like that. It's not that massive. So it's pretty much even in the gold game. And so we need to look at the income, and overall, Adamus and Widderson will go out ahead unless they stand here. And so Kingdanzz and Egekaer are trying to undercut their weakest wave here, but Widderson is quite strong here with those 3 aquas.
And what is Adam's going to add? Nightmare and Steed. Okay,
That's a good defensive option. Very
I
good
think he's
on
pretty strong here.
yeah.
Nightmare can do stupid amounts of damage, and it's been protected by some cheap arcane units. And those cheap arcane units are also going to pump mana back into the violet.
Oh yeah, and the Violet is taking no damage right now. But I think you need it to split tank a little bit, but the Steeds are taking too much punishment here.
They are, but it allows him to clear up all of the blobs before the pack leader really becomes an issue.
That's very true. The Nightmare dies, the Violet's still full HP. He'll clear quite a few, and I think it's enough for Widderson to clear. Only 1 red aqua remaining, so no. This will go to King, but not a lot of damage.
It could have been a lot worse.
Yes. And so this time the long save can work here, because that's not a lot of King damage it will take.
When do you think they want to go?
I'm thinking 8, looking at what they have, but yeah.
And here come the Serns, yeah. So pack leaders on 8.
So that's the most reasonable thing to do, just because sure the Nightmare can be weak on wave 9, but the Edge Chef is still possible here, and you see the Harbinger on Kingdanzz. And so you know that the Harbinger is his main source of damage on that wave, and you know that the add-ons will tank the full wave.
Yeah. Even though Harbinger is really weak on 8, Dan's has 1000 value. He's not going to leak to a Cannoneer.
Yeah, no, it's not enough. Even with the Hermit does not make sense here.
The
Yet
Hermit doesn't
again.
make sense. I'd have preferred a Dino, to be honest.
Yeah, Dino would have been a better option, indeed. Because it would absorb all of the damage from the Protons and let the wave do the damage. And yeah, so this is looking like a hold for Kingdanzz.
It's not a hold for Egekaer, though.
No, it's quite a big leak. So this is overall better gold on the side of the Banana Boys.
And we may have spoken too soon with Kingdanzz as well. He is going to leak, but only really small.
Oh, interesting.
But him leaking there with over 1000 value against an income send, that's not great for him.
Yeah, that's the most punishing type of leak. When you leak to an income send, um,
He
that's where.
doesn't need to build though, so he can full push now. He can full push
Oh
his
yeah.
income as well. I expect that he will go to 13 workers after the wave ends.
Oh yeah, 13 workers makes sense. And then after that, their play would be to go.
Send on
Inter
10. Send on wave 10.
Interesting it
So
will
push to
be.
13 workers here and
Yeah,
send on wave 10.
the doppel
You're
can
not
come
pushing
from
though.
Adamus, but it's not enough to clear, I think, the boss with a massive send.
Well, he has no lifesteal, and everything else that he has is dead value.
Yeah, it's all about the delay. So if you can buy enough delay for the doppel to ramp up and kill the boss, that's where you can be good. But Widderson, I think he'll go for a surprise fertilizer here. It's looking like it with
Yeah,
the
it looks
three
like it.
growls.
He's adding the Grolls here, so he can sell. If he wants, he can sell all three of them for a Fatalizer.
Okay, but
The
that's a
problem is he has
huge
nothing to
gamble.
tank for his Fatalizer.
That's a huge gamble here because if the sand on 10 does not come, you wasted 45 gold in total to get this the fertilizer,
To
which
get a
is
unit
very
that's
weak
weak
on
on
11.
11. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I think it should be a wave 10 send though, just looking at the builds.
Yeah, looking
And
at
here
the
it
build,
comes.
the wave 10
Yeah.
sand makes the more sense, but just to point out, this is a very risky sand for Widderson.
So let's look at Widderson now. Is he going to go for the Fatalizer?
We see the Berserker, and he needs
He
to
needs to
sell
sell another
another
one.
Growl. He'll have one last Growl for the tank.
He's done it. He needs to add his 4 pack rats as well, just for some extra tank value.
Yeah,
Here
and
they
he's
come.
doing it. So a very good decision, a very good gamble, because once they survive this, they can push quite a lot. And so
So Doppel on the dams, Fatalizer on Widderson, 2 amazing units for the wave. Is it going to be enough?
we're gonna see real soon. Uh, let's
And the
see.
Doppel is having free reign, but now it's getting attacked, and because it doesn't have the lifesteal, it will die.
And we see also the Fatalizer dying. Do we see the Ogre dying? Yes. Okay, so Widderson does get the Ogre down, and those
Oof.
boss are only one hit, and so the pack leader does not contribute much. So this will
That's
be
really good for
very
them
low.
actually. That was a strong play what they just did.
And Kingdanzz leaking here. Then comes in again. But now the double and lifesteal can really ramp up pretty hard. What I would like to see from Egekaer is to go for the double Butcher Aura and a full push. Do not think about wave 15 and try to kill them prior to 15.
Yeah, agreed.
Because
The thing is,
the
Egekaer
double,
has a Firelord as well, so
yeah,
he can have a Phoenix for 15, which is extremely strong.
so that's the other play. You can play it safe and try to hold 15, but if you want to kill your opponent very fast, and let's say they have a better scaling roll than you, then you want to try this strategy.
Yeah, you're right. I think they can win on 14 though, Team 2.
Oh, thanks for the info list.
I wonder if that's what caused the crash earlier then, because we had so many viewers
Yeah,
all requesting data from the extension.
and that might have been the explanation also for some of the green crash yesterday because there was so many
Uh,
streamers. So overall, what are we looking for now? We got E
so,
rolls on a lot of players. Titan only on Egekaer for the doppel, which is a very good decision with lifesteal.
oh, really good decision. Yeah, that 4.6k doppelganger. It's going to have double Butcher Aura. It's going to be an extremely strong unit.
And do we see the Steed King Klaus composition for Adamus, or is it just a bait?
Yeah, he's doing it.
It's looking like it, eh? You'll still have the LODs for later, but this will be a lot of mana units, so he needs to be careful to not um, overinvest into the mana units to keep the value from the steeds.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, he's like super invested into the steeds, right?
Yes,
And looks really weak on 14.
yeah, 14 is an issue, and we will see here at 13 cent.
Oh,
Wait,
I
what?
don't know about that, dude. I was just thinking how weak both Adams and Widderson look on 14, but they look equally strong on 13. I really don't know about this send. Maybe they
Yeah,
just think they have to send because they're
for the
receiving now.
oh, maybe they don't feel safe. Oh yeah, you're right.
But then
But
I could say the same thing for Team 2.
I
They
mean,
look so
you have
much stronger on 13 than 14.
yeah. Uh, well, maybe if Adams and Widderson wants to go here for income and then go for a 15 hole, 15 cent against Egekaer.
I guess. But I think all players can hold these sends.
It's looking like it at least. Fertilizer,
Maybe Adams is too invested into steeds, which are not great. So
yeah.
maybe he can leak.
So Egekaer will probably hold because the 4i is far away from the double right now.
That
King,
Kingclaw actually doing a lot of damage and a lot of slow though, being pumped up by all the steeds.
oh yeah, this is looking very good for Adamas. Also for Widderson, the fertilizer tanking last, doing the damage, but yeah, that's not exactly what you want. You want it to partially tank, and this is a leak from Adamas. This is a leak from Widderson,
Yeah,
and this is a
not
hold
enough
from
to kill him,
Egekaer,
but it's more
and
gold going over to Team 2.
Kingdanzz still
Look at
fighting.
that.
Kingdanzz
So
still fighting.
Dan's gate died just as the last minion popped, but the last minion focused this instead of this.
Yeah,
I
but this
think he could
is
he could
easily
kill both if it had just focused the right one.
easily held by Egekaer though.
It is.
And now the worker lead is in favor of Egekaer and Kingdanzz. Adam is
Oh,
really falling
massively.
behind. Lisk with the burn. uh, okay. But now I really think that wave 15 is the next point of interest for both teams.
It has to be, but
But you see the Phoenix here. This will be a Phoenix
yeah,
next wave. And the
Adam's
value,
not showing his Lord of Death just yet.
the value is just not in favor of Adamus and Widderson right now. You see 2.4k value on Adams and Wilson, but at this point in time, Kingdanzz is at 2.6.
Yeah, Adam's shifted gold here though, so he wants to get a Hades for next round.
Oh, a surprise 80s?
Yeah, so Adam's shifted 130 gold here.
Interesting. Let's see the net value though. Oh, so yeah, we can see that the net worth that Adamus is 400 below Kingdanzz, and even rising 500 now, 300 below Egekaer,
I'd actually
and
like him to sell one of these. Oh, he is. So he's going to have the Hades with the hero and the Ocean Templar buff.
oh yeah, that's
So that
amazing.
Hades and the imps that it spits out are going to be super strong on this wave.
So this might be a very good play, might enable them to hold. Widderson is not looking super bad here because the fire elemental can be protected, I think, with this position. Uh,
So Dan's should be absolutely fine. He's really strong on this wave.
yeah,
Egekaer might leak.
it
So
depends on the
obviously he has the
focus.
Phoenix, but everything else that he has is pretty weak. And Adams, it looks
It's
like,
looking good,
is
looking good.
holding because of that buffed Hades. So really clever play there from him.
That's
And
a
meanwhile,
very nice play
Widderson
by Adamus.
will leak only the boss. And the boss itself on low HP.
I mean, from being behind, I think they will be happy for this. They will be a little bit saddened that the Egekaer did not leak that. Oh
I
my god, the
would love to
clutch
see
oh,
that.
the
The
clutch
Four Eyes
oh.
and the Phoenix killing each other with a final breath. Hey, Jeremy in the chat. I don't know if any of you guys watch his channel, but Jeremy hosted the low elo tournament earlier today. And got to say, he was a great caster. So really nice to see some new blood coming into the Legion casting scene.
Yeah, I saw a little parcel of it, and yeah, it was very interesting to see you cast. And I'm looking forward to you casting some more tournaments in the future. So
Let's see.
now that wave 15 is done, what are we looking for? Because now the King Claws and Steeds can really ramp up
Well,
quite
I
hardy.
want you to look at Widderson and tell me what you see.
Um, I see a dead lane on wave 17.
I see a full push because they're planning to end the game on 17.
Yeah.
So he didn't build anything here
So
at 16.
so that's
He's
part of
suicide
the thing,
pushed.
is that whatever he decides to build wouldn't help on 17. That's why I said it was a dead lane on 17. Um,
Yeah.
and so
So he
Adamus,
pushes up to 43 workers,
yeah.
and it's an all-in play. They want to win now on wave 17.
And this is the correct play against a Nightmare player, but against a Gate, I'm not quite sure of the results.
It can work with witches.
And Widderson is the one sending to the Gate, so yes, it can work in that sense. And he's going for the Centaur? I mean, the
The
first
Centaur's
round,
okay. It tanks quite nicely. The problem is that Kingdanzz has so much natural defense with those wargs, lionesses, and obviously the gate minions themselves. He's really tanky on wave 17. If it comes down to a race, I think Danz just outlasts anyone else in the game.
uh,
What I lack in knowledge and skill, I make up in volume and volume.
well, that's the thing. When
Dude's
you're
got
in a
some great enthusiasm. He's really fun to
yeah,
watch.
and when you're in a tournament, let's say Jeremy, you always want someone who is more analytic and one that is more colorful, and you let the one that is colorful to describe what is happening during the wave. And when the wave is done, then the one that is more analytic can get through the details of what went wrong and things like that. And so that's why I say that you're maybe one that we can look forward uh, to having in a tournament.
Widderson's selling all of his units.
Oof, okay, so that's an all out play here. They really
I
want to
don't
win
know
here.
about that though. I don't know because how much extra does he get?
It doesn't get much, no. I know that Adamus does hold the longest, but it does not hold what Widderson leaks here.
No, he has no chance. So it's all about winning the race. But I don't know if Adan's lasts longer than Kingdan's though. That's the thing.
Kingdanzz, I mean, the Shaman is a good play here to try and kill faster, but do they reach the gate fast enough?
I mean, Egekaer is just holding, so
And Adamus
it's
is just leaking, yeah.
yeah, that's game. They needed to take a risk, so I like the play, but it doesn't work out for them this time.
Exactly, Asian. That is why Penny, I'm louder than Penny, yes.
I was trying to work out which one from me and you is the color caster and which one's the analytic, because as far as I can tell, we're both just number geeks.
But yeah, in the end, you just need to try and to understand what's happening, and one is asking the question to understand what's going on, and the most experienced player tells us opinion and things like that. So that's how I see the casting, and that's why I ask a lot of questions, and sometimes co-caster are getting bothered by my questions, but
I'm not bothered by your questions, dude.
yay.
Let me whisper down and find out what they.
All right, let's not point some fingers. I know there's some memes in there, but yeah. Um,
The main menu is really laggy for me.
yeah, it is. So we will receive again the roles that Kingdanzz and Egekaer took. First, I'll update the leaderboard at 2-0 for Team 2 right now. So this is match point for Team 2. Uh, and it will be a reverse sweep if Banana Boys really
Oh
manage to do anything.
no! I entered a classic queue. Cancel, cancel.
Uh,
Because my menu was lagging, I
okay.
clicked play to find a custom lobby, and it automatically went straight into classic.
Okay. Um. So yeah. So it was a good try for Widderson and Adamus to try to go for the suicide push. The only thing is that it was too late here. Um. I think that if they wanted it to work, they needed to go for it on wave 16. And so Adamus not pushing on wave after wave 15, and then Widderson going for the full push, and maybe starting to sell some units to get those workers going a bit longer. But the problem was not Kingdanzz, it was Egekaer holding the send from Adamus. So we're gonna go for, okay, it's not quite laggy, it's quite fine for me.
Okay, so King was greed and Eggy was reroll. So now in the final game, Kingdan has to take reroll and Egekaer has to take lock-in.
Yes, exactly. So this might be what they're less comfortable with, each of the player. And so they have 3 games to find something they're good at. I think that's the reasoning behind their strategy here.
I think Banana Boys is just creating a false sense of security. So now they've let their opponents win 2 games, they can just clean sweep 3-0 to win the series.
Alright, the lobby is up. Yeah, it is. That's it. The problem was not the send on Kingdanzz, it was the send on Egekaer.
My game's really laggy. I'm just going to restart Legion.
Yeah, restart your game. It's perfectly fine. I'll wait for you.
Yeah, my game's like crashing constantly, even though I'm in the lobby now.
uh, if both no, yeah, no. Yeah, if they both sold everything, yes, they could have gotten them all, of course. But the problem is that they would have. Wait.
Yeah, that was the play. The full suicide push was definitely the play.
So yeah, they would have leaked faster than you. So that's the problem. Uh, all right, so will we see a 3-0 here in the final, or will we see a revival of the Banana Boys now? Because now Kingdanzz and Egekar are both forced into it is lock in for Egekar and reroll for Kingdanzz. Is that it?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And Widderson and the Dams obviously can pick whatever they want because they get to
Yes.
win a game. So come on, Banana Boys.
All right, I'm seeing them. We are ready when they are.
So
Let
Egekair's saying that his game is not responding as well. He might be having the same problem that I did.
Okay.
So I'm telling him that I just restarted Legion.
Is it working better for you if you restart it?
A bit, yeah. I doesn't seem to have the same problem. Like I couldn't even click into the chat box because it was going so slow. So maybe if we just hold off and let Eggy restart before we start the game.
I'm sorry, I'm just messaging Jules about the winner of the draw while we have a little bit of a downtime.
Eggy's not responding in the chat. I don't know if that's just because his game's broken.
Yeah, maybe. All right. So Polly, I messaged Jules, and you should do the arrangement to give you the premium essence as soon as possible.
King saying that they're not on voice. How do these guys perform at this level without being on voice chat?
Sometimes speaking can be a little bit rough for some people. Like
I guess because
if you can
they don't
imagine,
share a common language, right? Like English is a second language for both of them,
yeah,
so maybe it's just easier to communicate with pings and typing. Oh, now King has left the room.
interesting.
Okay, maybe not. Join the room.
Uh, oh, okay, so the lobby will be destroyed here, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. The
I got
lobby's. I've
disconnected.
just been kicked out. Yeah.
How much player are there? Okay, 800. Yes. I got kicked from the game.
All right. Here's Dan's game. Let's get back in. Hopefully it works.
All right. Now I think the game will be stable for everyone. We don't
They
need
don't need
voice.
voice to win. That's all. They're that much better than everyone else that they don't even need to communicate.
So yeah. Okay, so we're waiting on Egekaer to reset his client, I suppose, and we will be good to go after that.
I'm not sure that voice chat was the problem there, Dan's. I think Akitos might have been the weak link.
No. It's voice chat, of course. Don't you see the correlation? No voice chat, and then no voice chat, you win again. There's a correlation here.
Akitos was damn good actually back in the day. The only thing is, I remember him streaming. He was just complaining about snipers all the time.
Yeah, that's a bit sad. All right,
He decided I can do this alone, says Dan's. Let's go 1v2. Begin a bot. Dude, I don't know if you've played with a beginner bot, but it is really bad.
Oh no, that's awful. The beginner bot just leaks every time. All right, so thank you. Okay, so while we waiting, uh, really want to say thank you for everyone for coming to see that it is still rolling. There's still at least it still is a best of five. It is right now at the advantage of team two, uh, 2-0 against Banana Boys. It is a match point, but really the viewer count has been impressive, and really thank you for the support, everyone. Kingdanzz just messing with us.
Eggy's back. Hopefully his computer's okay now.
Yeah, I hope so. And yeah, so this event could not be possible without the support of the community, of course. Um, the community is the motivation behind this event, and so yeah, so this will be this is just proof that the competitive scene of the Legion DD2 can be successful because only with a show match we can get 100 viewers at the peak time. Then anything is possible for Master Cup 7. So yet again, thank you also for the developers for the amazing game that they've created, and we really want to continue to support uh, your game, and we want to make it better also. And thanks for all the hard work you're doing.
Yeah, I think the patch that came out was just amazing. Like, they've really revitalized the game. They've brought in a massive influx of new players. The skins are fantastic. Um, just a really good patch. Are we having more issues again? Try
Uh,
did not connect in time. Try requeuing. But
oh wait,
meanwhile, Dan's
okay,
and Adams
it's
are
you
in the
that
loading
drop.
screen.
We are
Well,
because the
Widderson
game.
did as well. Widderson's also dropped.
Okay, we're gonna get this. It's okay. It's everything's going all right.
So I see. Uh,
I see Egekaer in the loading screen now dropping. Yeah, we got all dropped. Alright, let's go again. We got this. It's okay. Everything's fine.
yeah, they all got disconnected.
At
Egekaer's saying he's
least,
going to restart.
yeah, at least this is not in during the game, honestly. He needs to nerf Kingdanzz. Uh, so we're waiting on a yeah. Do you know if it's an internet issue or something like that?
I think it might be. I think it might be a Legion thing. So
Yeah,
Widderson got kicked as well. I don't think it was just me. I think there's some server issues going on again.
yeah. Let me check the Discord. Wait. Doesn't seem to be any mention of any trouble here. But Kingdoms did trade the game again. Yeah, not quite sure of what we can do.
So Kingdanzz is saying 5 or 6.
Yeah, so the lobby is created again if you want to join in again. We're gonna try another time and then we'll try to think about something different to do.
I think it's a Legion thing because it seems to be affecting all of us.
Yeah, yeah. But if one player drops out on a custom game, everybody gets dropped out during the loading screen.
I think Egekaer is restarting his computer though.
Well, he just connected back, so I think he is now getting in soon.
Okay, Lisk's in the chat.
Yeah,
It's restarted a few times. I'm not sure why specifically yet. So hopefully it just works this time round.
it's all good, all good. Uh, all right, ready. So let's hope this time it works. And yeah, it will be very fun for everyone.
Looks good.
It looked
We
good,
see a
yes.
loading screen.
It's
Let's go.
alive! Okay, so let's go for the match point for Team 2. Will they take it, or will we see a comeback from the Banana Boys here?
I'd like to see Banana Boys getting at least one game from this series. They're definitely good enough.
Alright, so we see here the redraw from Kingdanzz and the lock-in from Egekaer following it right after, I believe.
I wonder what he's going to log in because there's no sorcerer or magician.
And we see Adamus and Widderson switching it up. Widderson going for the redraw instead of the greed, and Adamus going for the lock-in. Trying something new. Alright, so
I've
let's
just
talk.
realised that all 4 players are Lord of the Rings cosplayers as well.
Oh yeah, that's a display of the most successful guild in the Guild Wars.
I wonder which one's the Hobbit and which one's the Elf.
I don't know.
I reckon Kingdanzz is like the High Elf. He's like Galadriel or something, which means Egekaer has to be the Hobbit. And then Adam's has got to be the Ranger, which I suppose leaves Widderson as the Dwarf.
I guess so. But yeah, let's talk about the Legion spells. We have Protector, a very good spell for a tank and add efficient tanking. We have Venture, that players will try to avoid giving a free venture to the opponent. And we have Villain also, very good uh, when you have a single target damage unit. And so we see that Adamus did get the flower math composition, but there's no magician. And we see a Tempest and Tempest Windhawk start from Widderson. A Grower start for Egekaer. It is a 5-worker Grower start here. It will be a Violet on 3, but he needs to not build here or go for heavy income.
Yeah, and Egekaer 5 workers. So he does leak to a snail here. I wonder if Widderson's going to send it. Because they should know that he isn't doing an egg just by checking the recommended value.
Yeah, I found it quite hard though.
There's no
To predict.
snail. That's
So no snail. Okay.
Oh, there is a snail.
Oh,
Okay, so they did check the recommended value. They send the snail, and it should be quite a decent leak from Egekaer.
yes, it will be. So we do have the income sent on onto Adamus. So trying to
I think
get
that's going to be the
later.
last send he'll get. He won't
Yeah,
get another send now until wave 6.
this is Agar's in to him, right? Yes. So Egekaer is leaking here, but this is just more time, right?
It's more
But
time, but it's more time for Adams with 6 workers as well, which is even better.
yeah,
So
you're right.
he's not leaking, and he has the worker advantage.
What I see often from flower players is to go for heavy income to try and hold 6E more easily, as well as with 7, and going very heavy on workers. Uh, but sometimes you just want to protect your teammate as well. But Widderson is looking pretty good on 6 if he goes for the Violet.
Yeah, agreed, which he will.
So Kingdanzz going for the turtle on Widderson. And wait, okay, so Widderson does have the Seraphim, so he should be able to hold that. And we see a snail in income for Egekaer. So getting that little extra income before the long save, I believe.
And it looks like they're both going to hold, and Adams with 7 workers now. That's a really strong start. So when I thought they were going to starve him until 6, although maybe they will now, they have to now. If they send income again, that's a total throw.
Yeah, but we will see a small leak from Widderson.
He's
Very small
totally
one.
fine leaking. He's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
You
they are
leak
hidden
3
workers.
creeps while you have 2 more workers than your opponent. You're really happy with that. And Adam's, not only does he have 7 workers, he's got 100 Mythium saved up.
So now, does he go for income or does he keep
No, he's
Kingdanzz in the
saving.
workers?
He's keeping him down. He can ruin him on wave 5. He'll have a Seraphim, sure, but all of his tank line's weak on 5.
He will have a butcher, and in combination with the Yuzurite can be very pro-efficient.
Yeah, but I mean, Adams can send a Mimic on 5.
Oh, very true. Didn't see that. You're right. That's not every day you see a mimic on 5, though.
No, and he can send it before income.
We do see an income sent again on Widderson, so Kingdan's trying to get Widderson to get the extra gold, and I think he'll
Yeah, but
be able to
if
get him.
he pro leaks here, that's amazing for Adams.
Oh yeah, and he's not leaking hard. That's looking like a small leak again. If it's one at
Uh,
all.
I think he's going to hold, but he's going to hold so slowly that
Oh my god,
Adams definitely gets his mimic.
this takes eternity.
There it is. That's such a good send
Oh
from
my.
what you can see. So he doesn't know about the Butcher, and the Butcher will help, but the Mimic is so strong here on wave 5. It's
Oh,
going to
but look,
shred Danz's front line.
Kingdanzz
He can't
is
afford it.
4 gold off.
He didn't send a snail.
He was banking on the lake, I suppose.
No, what can he do? He
Uh,
needed to send a snail.
he cannot do
How
anything.
does he hold?
There's nothing he can do to hold. He's just gonna leak.
He's a dead man. He needs to boost. He is boosting, but
Yeah.
he's dead.
Oh my god. We will see a massive leak here. And it's not looking pretty for Egekaer as well, to be honest. The mole is pretty good against what he has. Is this still a Tantrum Mask?
It is a Tantrum Mask, and it is a fight. They're two really good units on 5. So he's going to leak just the mole, but Kingdanzz is leaking more than just the mole.
To be fair, for missing the butcher, he did pretty well. Uh,
He did pretty well, but the Mimic is worth like half of wave 5 by itself. And
yeah,
it's full HP. This is going to do some big damage to the King. Kingdanzz actually, I'm surprised how well he held. I was expecting to see 100% leak here.
yeah. So in the end, it still wasn't that bad, but still major king damage and major gold loss for both King and Egekaer. Stayed at 5 workers for eternity as well, and now just getting to 7.
Yeah, I mean, we just leaked 3 creeps to the King, and they did 40% King damage.
So we have a send from Egekaer onto the mask and flower, and we can see a major leak here, but the Royal Guard might be enough to protect long enough the flowers. I never saw that attempted, to be honest.
The Royal Guard is a very solid unit on 6, but again, the problem is he has no damage. So as soon as you get that mole out against 2 honey flowers, he just has 0 DPS.
Okay, so one of the Oni flowers is getting targeted pretty early, but one is safe from the Royal Guard. Does
Yeah,
this
he's
give enough
leaking really
time?
hard.
No, this is not giving enough time.
He's leaking really hard. So Widderson's going to cover it in mid, but this is a huge leak now from Adams.
But yeah, you're right. So this is good gold back
100% leak.
onto Kingdanzz and Egekaer. 110%, that's a lot. I think they expected to get Kingdanzz a bit better than that, and so the bonus gold could have been better.
Yeah. I
But
expected them to get Kingdanzz better than that.
Kingdanzz leaking just a little bit and just yeah, that's not worrying him. Oh, that does not bother him.
And Widderson can hold, so they're not getting any return King damage. So it's some economic damage against the dams, which is important,
Yeah,
but they're not catching up in King damage. So the question is now, can Widderson hold against this Mimic that's coming towards him on 7? And I think the answer is probably yes, because he's going to go for a Leviathan here.
yeah, and this is perfect to cover both 7 and 8.
Yeah, he has 830 value. He's really strong here. I don't think a Mimic is enough.
No, I don't think so. But we can always be surprised. It doesn't have much to tank. Oh, the Violet is tanking the Mimic right now.
I don't think a Mimic was the best send here anyway, because pretty much everything he has is strong defense against Pierce.
Yeah, you're right.
I,
Might have
I
been
guess he,
Mole
I don't
then?
know. Maybe he was expecting a big arcane tank, in which case it's a good send, but then why don't you just send Brutes?
Yeah, you're right. But the Mimic has a chance to get you bonus gold, of course.
It does.
Also, you can expect sometimes a higher split to protect your Leviathan as long as possible.
Yeah. And it says 51% leak here, but that's really misleading because Widderson cleared pretty much the entire wave. He's not losing any gold, even though it says 51%. And in terms of king damage, this is going to do next to nothing.
Yeah, so overall a very good trade for the Banana Boys in the end.
and you can see that in the workers. So Widderson tied with Dan's on 9, but Adam's taking a strong lead with 11. And just as I say that, Widderson pushes up to 10.
To 11, you mean?
11. Widderson again. Every time I try and count his workers, he pushes one more.
Then don't count and wait, you, and you'll get the right amount, and then you'll just see that once you say it, it's just one more. All right, so where are the cents coming? I think it would be a wave 11 for Kingdanzz
It
and
has to be.
Egekaer.
It's Mask Flower. Like you write the game yourself by picking those units.
But the big problem here for the wave 11 cent is that there is the presence of the Royal Guard here on the side of Adamas. It is shown, and so this means that 11 can be less attractive on the part of Kingdanzz and Egekaer. Because
Yeah,
it can give a lot of time to the mask. I believe that the play from Adamas is to go for a lot of the Tantrum mask on wave for wave 11. Because those masks will be protected by the Royal Guards and give time for them to deal the damage they need. But let's talk first about the sense that's coming on the side. That's coming from Widderson and Adamas to Kingdanzz and Egekaer. And so
they're
the Mole
big
Hermit
sends,
makes
but they have a
sense.
lot of value as well. So I think they've got a chance. The Ogre doing massive damage, first on the bunk, then on the veteran. Only now that 2 units are dead does it go on the Azora, which dies quickly. The only real threat here is the head chef, but it looks like that's going to be a leak as well. And meanwhile, Egekaer leaking really hard.
Oh yeah, and the recent buff from the Edge Chef does give a little bit of a chance to clear a little bit more on the side of Kingdanzz, but it's still not enough to do enough. And this is
It's not
massive
enough, and this can
damage.
be game. This might be game here. Yeah, yeah. GG comes out from Kingdanzz. It looks like Banana Boys showing that they're not out of the competition just yet.
And that just means that you need to stick with me a little bit longer, Penny. Are you willing
I
to do
know,
that?
dude. I was gonna say, I'm really happy for Banana Boys to take a win, but also it's 10:30 and I'm working tomorrow.
Well, we're getting excited now because we have a series
Let's
on our
go.
hand.
We've got a game.
So just do a quick review while I update the scores.
I mean, that game was a really, really strong performance from Banana Boys there. You see, first they kind of caught Egekaer off guard with a snail into the Groll, and that's a trick for anyone in chat who doesn't know. If you check your recommended value on wave 2, you can tell whether the opponent is going for an egg sack or something else. Because if your recommended value is high, you know they have more than 2 workers, you know they're not doing an egg sack. So they read that, they sent the snail, they leaked Egekaer, and it kind of went downhill from there. Adam's having 6 workers going into wave 3, putting massive pressure onto Kingdanzz, and you see something that I haven't seen maybe ever. The Mimic sent in income on wave 5. Kingdanzz holding extremely well there, I've got to say, with only leaking the Mimic. But again, that was already 40% damage against the King. So from there, sure, Adam's leaked really hard on 6, but it wasn't enough to get them back into the game. They were really far ahead. They had a lot of workers. They had the Mythium advantage, and they were able to close out the game on 9 there with those enormous 200 plus sends on both players, and Kingdanzz and Egekaer not having a chance to hold those sends. So just really
And
well played there from Banana
okay,
Boys.
do you have your spreadsheet ready?
I have my spreadsheet ready. Who was playing what?
They both took redraw, so they cannot take redraw anymore. So
Okay.
is that a sign that redraw is better than greed? Who knows?
Well, they can't pick it again, so
We're gonna see if they're gonna lose. But no, they're very solid calls from both Widderson and Adamus this game. Very impressive. And yeah, Kingdanzz says that he's so used to taking greed that he forgot that he had the reroll.
he could have used it for a proper role.
Alright, let's see if the custom game is... Yeah, the game is up. Let's join it. It is 2-1 for Team 2. Still match point for them. There's still hope for the Banana Boys. They've shown some strength here on the previous game. Can they repeat it? We will see when the game will begin and when it will unfold.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We've got a proper series on our hands now. Let's go. Let's see if Banana Boys can tie the score 2-2, and then we can go for a big fifth game. Or will Team 2 take this game now and make it a 3-1 and close out the series and let us all go to bed?
Yeah, I think we will skip the winner interview. I think it will be very appreciated for everyone. It's pretty late in Europe right now. So thanks everyone for tuning in at these late times. I know that for Europe it's pretty late. But yeah, thanks for the support everyone. And let's hope that the games are up to the hype and keeps you awake for long and gives you the energy to survive.
So, some very wise technical advice there from Lisk. If we have any more server problems, let's just pray.
But the game is working right now, so let's go. And let's talk about the Legion spell for the time being. So,
So, Protector, and then two good aggressive spells with Press the Attack and Giant Snails. Having said that, Protector recently buffed a very strong defensive spell now, I think, because the buff it just got was pretty significant. It was a bonus like 50 HP, but also didn't it like double the amount of HP regen?
yes, exactly. And so, a pretty good defensive spell, but with the Press the Attack and Giant Snell, I think they will be favored on both sides if the builds are weak enough. And
Some
also,
interesting roles already. So Egekaer having a Grawl. Is Egekaer playing lock-in now? He is, right?
yes, Egekaar's supposed to have lock-in and Kingdanzz supposed to have redraw. Yes.
And it looks like both Widderson and Adams have taken the. They have. So Widderson
Lock-in.
and Adams both playing lock-in.
Yep.
Widderson's locked his Priestess and Adams has locked his Angler.
Yep. And I think this is them saying, we don't believe in greed anymore.
Oh, Lisk. Say so prayers are 150% effective.
Alright, so we have a Nightmare start for Kingdanzz, and we have a Flower start from Egekaer. This is a Flower Mask build from Egekaer. Let's see how he does it though. Now, this time. This might have been a Lock-in
He's
Flower
really
for
glad that
Egekaer, to be
Widderson and
honest.
Adams have locked in their comfort roles here. Let's see, because these guys are known as Widderson the best Priestess player and Adams the best Angler player. Let's just see how they can push these units.
Yeah, Egekaer going to 5 Worker already. He already sent for King Ups. And wait, this is Egekaer sending a Snell. Feeding the Angler. One more stack.
One more stack, but I think it's a fine play.
Yeah,
Egekaer knows that he can push hard now.
yeah, exactly. So 13 stacks on both of them. And so what are the most common numbers you want on a Kingpin without Steed before you upgrade it?
Without Steed, I think anything above 80 is fine.
Alright, so anything above 80 is decent enough to clear, to be taken into consideration upgrading. If it's a little bit lower, like 79, I think you still do it if it's on wave 9 or 10 and you're expecting a big sun. I think this is the correct
But
one.
you upgrade the Kingpin absolutely. Like you don't have a choice. If you get to wave 9 and they've been starving you, even if you're on 70 stacks, you have to do it.
Yeah,
There's nothing worse than leaking 100% on wave 9 because you didn't go for the Kingpin.
and we see 6 workers on Widderson right now. Feeling confident.
Yeah, we saw it in the first game, right? Widderson just absolutely popping off with a big early worker advantage, and he's going to hold this as well. So it's only an income send coming out from Dens.
Yeah, it is a 20 cent, so it's perfectly fine. We see the final income sent into a long save, I think, for Widderson after this. So we do have a 60 cent on onto King with a Chain Fist and a Nightmare. With this positioning, it should hold easily.
I kind of wonder as well, like Is Widderson going to starve Egekaer? Or is he going to say, I can scale harder than you with my priestess?
But the problem is that can Adamus afford to receive a large amount of sense from Egekaer?
I've just seen something really interesting from Ithian in the chat. So instead of sending a mole on the wave 5 last game into the mask and the violet, if he'd sent a Drake, it was a 92% leak.
Oh yeah, so
And
maybe
Bonnie's
we
asking no greed on King and Egekaer, so the answer is they can't. It's a format where they have to win with all three of the mastermind options, and they've already used greed, so they have to use the lock in and the redraw now.
yeah, so Kingdanzz is forced into the redraw and Egekaer on the lock-in. There we go. The chat is participating quite a lot, and they understood perfectly the format. So this is very helpful for us, guys. Thank you for following and helping the others in the chat. So we see the save starting. Adamus is done the lowest amount of Mythium, so less pressure on him. And Kingdanzz is deciding to send here on wave 5. Will Widderson expect this? Will he go for the the bucklers to protect his priestess a little bit, or maybe the mask? I don't know.
He probably goes bucklers because he needs something to protect the priestess on
And
on
on
6.
6.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the bucklers are coming.
He is getting a send now. The question is, do those lizards both go on the priestess and kill her in time? The answer is
Nope.
no.
I go on buckler. So this is best case scenario for Widderson because now the
Yeah,
priestess tanks
he's going to
the,
hold this.
and now
And
he's
now the
tanking the
priestess is tanking
lizards.
both lizards, so again their damage is just completely wasted.
Do we have any other sense? No, we don't.
This is perfect, so Widderson can go crazy on workers after that.
Oh yeah,
And
already on
he
8
is.
walkers. He's not wasting any time.
The thing is, we've seen Egekaer has the red Hellraiser now, so he's actually pretty strong on 6.
Uh, this is problematic. He needs to go for the second flower if he wants to hold, because right now what he's lacking is tanks, and he's not going
He's
for
going
that
for more
because
masks. I don't hate it actually, because those 2 masks are throwing up an extra 670 Swift HP in front of this Hellraiser, which is doing all of the
you're
damage.
very right about that. Those might work as tanks except with the second flower. It's more effective health.
It's more health than a second flower, and it's also more damage than a second flower. Because, like we said before, the flowers just do absolutely no damage when you get a mole.
But let's see, is this enough? So we will see after a little bit, just to see the progression here, what is happening on Adamus, because he did receive 2 brutes. So maybe you can check on that.
Adam's looks okay. He is going to leak. He's got a Harbinger, so he's fairly decent here,
Okay, so this is a
but he
massive lake
will
here.
leak small. The problem is that 2 of his dogs were attacking 2 different Roccos.
Oh,
Wave 6
again?
focus again, but it's a lot better than it was in the previous game.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Egekaer 126% leak against the mole and the snail. Even with the red Hellraiser, it wasn't enough, but look at the HP on these. That's so unfortunate.
And yeah, so this is also a hold from Kingdanzz, but not holding what is in the middle. So this is first blood on the king for the Banana Boys.
First blood, but nowhere near as much damage as it could have been.
Yeah, no. And Kingdanzz is sending, sorry, he's not resending, he's sending to the priestess player. How much does he have, Widderson? 232?
230 gold. The thing is, Widderson's fine here. What does he build? I mean, probably a Hellraiser.
Hellraiser
And
for
what
8
else
should
does
be
he
the
want?
play, yeah. Going for the Pegasus. I don't hate this, honestly.
The thing with the Pegasus is it means it pretty much puts the priestess on like 100% regen, which means it can tank forever.
And yeah, everything's on the priestess, but he's
Yeah.
perfectly fine with that.
So half the wave attacking the priestess means half the wave doing literally 0 damage because the priestess will last forever against that.
And then the
With the
rest is on the
Pegasus giving it
Pegasus.
100% regen, it just lives. It's a really good play actually from Widderson, showing why he is the priestess king.
Egekaer
And
leaking again
meanwhile,
to a mole.
Egekaer leaking again to a hermit resend.
Oh, Hermit, sorry. This is Hermit, not a mole. We will see anyhow a leak from Widderson because of the lack of damage, of course. But this is very fine for him. Already at 10 workers, he's way
Oh,
ahead of
he's
everyone else.
absolutely fine. He's happy to leak there, I think.
And that's what you want here. You want to keep the pressure on the flower player. You don't want the flower player to greed as much as you. And so he's doing a perfect job at that. And so now I think he will need to go for 10 or 11.
Dan Wolf in the chat asking if Widder picked Priestess and Adam's redraw. I think they both locked in. I think Widderson
Yes,
locked in
they cannot
Priestess
go
and
for
Adam's
redraw.
locked in.
They cannot
I
go for
think
redraw.
Adam's locked in Angler, but then I think he chose not to take it, even though it was in the lock-in. Oh, he has taken it. Sorry, he's just rolled away from it.
Yeah, you just roll away from it, and that's exactly what you want when you're playing anglers, is that you place your 2 initial anglers and then you reroll out of it to get a better late game unit. Because this is a purely scaling unit. You need a lot of time to get to the kingpin, and so that's why you normally just invest into 2 so that you have uh, a solid damage for the game and a solid tank as well. The
And look at this.
140 cent here can
This
be
is
pretty good.
crazy good, actually. The Pegasus and the Priestess, just giving it 100% regen. It lives forever on these magic waves.
That's amazing for me to say.
Yeah. Big brain plays right there.
So we see a small leak from Adamus, and that's just more time for the 11 worker of Widderson.
I mean, you say small, it's 56%.
Okay, sorry, I didn't see that. I think there were 2 superimposed cobras together. I think it was only 3.
But again, Widderson, dude, 15
Wait,
workers.
what? I I just said 11. Why did you push that much after that?
He's still not matching his record from the first series where he had 20 on wave 9, though.
But is he right to be so confident on the priestess on wave 9?
Yeah, he is. And the thing is, Egekaer is going to have a death cap here. And I think a death cap might be good enough. I'm not sure, though, because
The size of the
Widderson
sand
is
is
going to have a
massive.
mole and a hermit. He's saving the hermit now after income.
There's no tantrum also.
There's no tantrum. All of the mask then just dead value. I think this
And it's
should
a
be a
4-eye.
massive leak from Egekaer.
Look at this. This is a 4-eye.
Wow. This might just be game over on wave 9.
If they get them, yeah. So Widderson might leak this, but I think that all of the value is perfectly fine when he gets it back. The priestess
And here's the
dying.
problem with Egekaer's build, because he has no tanks. So death cap is crazy high damage on wave 9, but there's nothing to keep damage away from it. And as soon as that dies, his build just crumbles. You'll see this being 100% leak now.
100% leak
But
on
the same
Widderson.
on Widderson, though,
Yeah, he pushed way aggressively because they wanted to end it here.
which is fine because it looks like it's working. And that Hermit doing some healing while Kingdanz's leak comes in a bit slower.
And now they can just go 11. Like Widderson is on 15 workers. He leaks, yes, but he will have massive amount of Mithium. But this
I mean,
is
it's
game.
just game.
This is game.
Banana Boys. What a show.
Will it
So
be
we're
a
going to
river
a game
swim?
5.
Game 5. There we go.
And this is why Widderson, king of the priestess, just showing the rest of us how to use this unit.
I think they needed the confidence boost now. With those redraws and then lock-ins, ensuring themselves very good hold, then it's very, very good. Let
And
me
now
update the
everything to
leaderboard.
play for in game 5.
So we have now greed, fully greed. For the battle boys, obligated to take that, and
Yeah,
we
let's
have
see if they
team
get lucky on
2.
the roll. Because
Yeah,
they're forced into greed. So if they get the classic greed roll, like something barely playable, this might be really hard for them.
and yeah, the turning point is how Widderson really controlled the flower roll from Egekaer. So you see that it's not a guaranteed win when you play it, because you can really play around it and try to be aggressive on your worker push. If you're confident on your role, like Widgerson was with the priestess, then there's nothing stopping you to leak a little bit and know, okay, but, well, I leaked there, it's fine, I can push those workers. And then the reason just allow them to just say, okay, we're going hard next. And it was enough, it was the right call. And yes, this was double lock-in for them, so you can note it down. Reverse sweep, let's go. Alright, so just for everyone, how all of the mastermind choice have won at least one game here. So we're now looking at Kingdanzz, Redraw, Egekaer Lock-in, Widderson Greed, and Adamus Greed. So this will be very, very good. So Adamus taking a little bit of a break here. I can understand this is a very long series.
I'm going to take the chance to top up my water, but you can tell the guys they can start whenever because I'll be back in 30 seconds anyway.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, so very, very good showing for both of them. And next week, those two teams are playing in the Master Cup, and and they are to be feared. At this level of play they are showing right now, this is terrifying. And I think this kind of competition also helps them because all of the player really felt comfortable in the greed role and the greed mastermind option. But right now what we saw is Banana Boys trying for the greeds, and it did not work. It worked for Kingdanzz and Egekaer, but as soon as Widderson and Adamus were down 2-0, they decided, okay, let's go for redraw, ensure ourselves a good roll, and they won with that. And also next game they said, not feeling confident again on the greed. Let's lock in our comfort picks in the priestess and the anglers, and they won again with that. So we can see that uh, each mastermind options have some strengths and some weaknesses, and it depends really on the player. And these are perfect example of what they shown. So Widderson, Adamus both going greed. It will be quite risky.
It's quite risky, but they've got good units as well. So I'm just got that by the way.
And look at
Adams
what
has
Widderson.
a priestess role.
No, you don't understand.
Oh,
Widderson
Widderson
as
has the priestess role.
priestess and Adams as the angler. This is rigged.
Dude, this is perfect. I think Kingdanzz and Egekaer are going to have to question what their mastermind option was when they see these openers.
Oh, yeah, but we see for sure that they took greed with the income they have here.
We're in for a series. This is going to be good. And the thing is, Adams has a butcher to go with his anglers as well. Like, if he had to choose his role, he probably would have gone with something like this.
Oh yeah, and let's see, Kingdanzz.
Yeah, that's a really, really good angler role. So he has the anglers, obviously the core unit, the butcher to help keep them alive and to really make the kingpin an insane late game unit when it has life steal. But he also has the infiltrator to protect on 6 and the boosted veteran to protect on 7, which are the two weak waves of the bounty hunters.
Yeah, exactly, and it is exactly the same positioning as last game. But we have a crusher start from Kingdanzz, and we know how much he can greed with it. And he
And
has the Aqua to be able to hold any 40% on wave 2.
so Egekaer, it looks like locking in the Groll every time, which I think is a good play. He has Egg and Bunk to turn into. He's going for the Bunk play here. I
Yeah,
wonder if they do the same, check the recommended value and send a snail on 2. I think they probably do. Oh, they didn't king up on 1, so
yeah,
Widderson can send a Dragon Turtle.
yeah, exactly. So the 40 is still possible for both of the players. Kingdanzz will hold any 40% if he goes for the Aqua.
Yeah, so we're going to see Adam's checking his recommended value, saying that it's 210, and Widderson's going to send a Dragon Turtle.
Correction on that. This snail is is the first send here. There were no king ups for Adamas. So this should be around 240 value. And we
Yeah,
see the
although
Aqua
Egekaer
Spirit.
does have the Aqua, which is really good.
And should be enough to clear, right? If I'm correct?
It should be because the Dragon Turtle is wasting its damage. You need that Dragon Turtle to do like the 200 damage it does to the Growl before it dies.
Yeah, and yeah, so this will be a 5 worker start from Egekaer, and so shying away from the bunk for now.
I think that's a really good play actually. So he can still drop the bunk on like wave 4 if he wants to.
Yes.
Or he can even save it until wave 7 and just have a Growl.
Yeah, the Guar is a little bit weak on wave 3, but with the Aqua, it should still be fine. 103.
The problem is, yeah, he's got ugly gold. Like he can't really do anything with 103 gold.
Yeah, I think he'll need to go for the Windhawk or Aquas. Yeah. He'll need to go for 2 Aquas, might be enough, but I'm not quite sure. Yeah, the split and the Pui. Okay, so that's enough.
It is, but it's quite a weak build overall. So he's probably. I don't think he's going to go for a bunk on 4. I think he's going to save his Growl as his kind of insurance policy and use it on wave 7 for a bunk.
Okay, so we see the 40 recent for income onto Adamas. But with this Angler build, I think he will be quite happy with that.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So Adams is getting fed.
So 6 worker bounty hunter is very good because now you can be safe on 4 and 5 quite easily.
And here
But
comes the wave 4 Brute Snail from Kingdanzz. So Widderson can leak this. What's he going to put up to protect himself? He doesn't have
he has a
for this. He's got
cat.
a Nekomata, which is probably the best thing he can do here. He's feeding it a couple of fish.
Yeah,
But it's
it's 2
still
macros.
arcane armor. It's still arcane armor against an impact wave and a brute.
It's a cat with 2 macros in his stomach, so it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I think
that
the
kitty's
priestess
gonna
did
die
not.
really fast though.
Yeah, the priestess did not take enough aggro here, and I think this will be a leak. Because once the brute gets to the priestess, if it's not killed very soon, it's enough DPS to.
It's not getting the spell out. It's gonna be a big leak.
Yeah.
Luckily, Adams can hold, but he's gonna hold very little in the mid.
So in those kind of situation, we say I leaked for you to have more stacks on your kingpin, of course.
Perfect team play there. Widderson feeding, but it's only going to be 1, maybe 2 stacks that the kingpin will take. Yeah, that's the 1.
Oh yeah, and
There's
2.
the 2.
So this is first blood on the side of Egekaer and Kingdanzz. So they'll be quite happy
Taking the
from
king
that.
down to 80% HP already, really not bad there.
Yeah, but now the strike back is coming, but I can see Egekaer having the right amount of gold with a bunk here if he sells this growl.
Yeah, but I don't think he wants to do that because then he would really open himself up for a wave 6 send. He's doing it.
He's doing the bunk.
Again, Caster's curse. The thing is, I mean, he's made the right play here, but if they sent on 6 instead, he just shot himself in the foot.
Yeah, you're right.
I think maybe a Violet was the best play. Cover himself on both on 5 and 6.
Oh, I don't see if Kingdanzz will be able to hold that because its only damage is the coiler and everything's
The
dying
coiler
very
is
fast.
massive damage though. That's the thing.
One brute getting targeted down, but the scorpions are the damage right now.
The coiler is actually a dark horse on wave 5. It does tons of damage.
But still, it's not a big league, and they'll be quite happy from that. They have the worker advantage, 8 worker each.
Adams is going to be very happy to see these 2 friends on wave 6.
Are you sure you will be happy?
No, he's going to leak really hard. But everyone's happy to see friends, right?
Yeah. I think this is the right answer, right? Uh,
I mean, what can he do here? He's got high value. He's got 635 value, but these are dead. These are dead. I mean, sure, these have swift armor, but he's just got no damage against this wave.
no, 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 don't lie, don't lie. This is damage for this wave.
Okay, yeah, sorry. He has got a big impact damage dealer with a butcher and a massive natural tank as well. So he's probably fine.
No, this is not looking good for Adamas. And only the 20 cent income for wait, this was for Widderson, and Widderson is having the two brutes. Two brutes targeting the Harbinger. Harbinger will die,
Does he get the spell? He does not get the spell.
and the
So
Isaiah
I think if you got that Cerberus, it's an easy hold, but without it, it looks like a leak.
exactly. And
And
this is
Adam's
massive damage.
76% leak there as well. So
So this is
from
three
From First
brutes.
Blood on 4, we're going to see this go down to about 30-40% now on 6.
Yeah, maybe even lower.
So I think even with their comfort rolls, it looks like Team 2 taking a really, really strong lead in this final
Look
game.
at the workers from Kingdanzz. Look at the workers.
Yeah, they want to end it. They're resending. They want to end.
This is 20%.
So even a small leak now on 7 is enough to win the game.
Yes. And we all know how 7 is powerful. The Harbinger is quite powerful, but he's tanking quite a lot, so I'm not sure what he will be able to do with that. He cannot boost his Nekomata to full stack. He needs 150 gold, he only has 133. We do see double angler, but apart from that, not a lot. And
And yeah, the sends are not huge, but they might be enough.
so it's a 6-stack Nekomata. Not sure if it's enough.
The Priestess is tanking really well, so it's wasting a lot of the wave's damage. And meanwhile, the Harbinger is going absolutely nuts. It's definitely getting a second spell. It might even get a third. So this looks like a guaranteed hold for Widderson, just thanks to his positioning there with the Priestess tanking so much of the damage. And it looks like Adams is holding as well. So
Yeah.
maybe they took their foot off the throats of Banana Boys just now and gave them a
Sorry, we missed you. The ping spiked.
any better?
Yes, it is better.
Cool. So I was just saying that Team 2 maybe took their foot off the throat of Banana Boys with that resend on 7 and have given them enough breathing space to have a chance to come back into the game.
Yeah, and now Widderson at 10 workers and Adamas at 9. It's pretty much equal to Kingdanzz and Egekaer, but they are 300 gold behind. And part of the
300
reason
gold is
why is that they're
massive on Wave 8.
saving. They're saving quite a long time here.
And when do they want to send? The answer is obviously Wave 9.
Yeah,
Egekaer will have a Violet, but all the rest of his units are really weak there. Widderson can send an Ogre in income, which I think he will.
I think they both want the ogre, to be honest. And Widderson
Oh, they're
might
going to make.
pro. Oh, no, okay, I didn't see the
Oh,
Nico.
he's got a fully set Nicomadia. Yeah, he's absolutely fine.
I didn't see the Nicomata. Procaster. No. And the friends
Here
are
comes the
coming from
ogre.
LMS. Alright, so income sent from Kingdanzz. I don't think the goal is not to leak Widderson here. I think he is quite fine with the Enter and the Harbinger. We have a
Oh, he's
Kingpin
got a
here from
soul
Adamas.
gate. I don't know if the soul gate's enough though, because his front line's going to die really fast.
He's receiving the three brutes and not the ogre though.
Okay, okay. Violet on Egekaer, so high value on both players, but massive sends coming through as well.
So if they don't leak massively, they will be in a great worker lead. I think Kingdanzz will be able to pretty much full push the value of the wave, because he is quite strong with the quarter on wave 10. And
Yeah, but Kingdanzz is leaking hard again.
oh my god,
His soul gate didn't have enough front line to keep it alive long enough.
I didn't expect the bunk to die that fast, honestly. And this is massive leak. And do they hope?
This, wow, you just can't count the Banana Boys out, even though they had such a massive lead on Team 2. Banana Boys showing why they're one of the best teams in Legion at the moment.
Yeah. And just to say to you guys, it's very hard to come back from a large goal deficit as the Banana Boys had. And right now they're just making every step count, and they're catching up on workers.
They're not just catching up, it looks like they're ahead.
They're ahead in value now. 3.9k compared to 3.8.
I mean, wow, that's just incredibly well played from Banana Boys.
Okay, so where are we looking
Not
now?
many teams can come back from a lead like that.
No. And now the Mythium is perfectly even. So when do we look at? The Kingpin will be a pain to deal with for Team 2. So I think the lever of when to send falls into the Banana Boys now.
Widderson's shifting gold here. What does he want on wave 11 that he's shifting for?
In Azaria.
Obviously the Azaria, but I think he can afford that anyway.
No. No, with it's 150 from the wave, and that just says to me that they don't want to send 11.
And Savior on the menu as well. So they can pretty much guarantee this game going long by taking Savior. That's probably what they're going to do, I think.
Yeah, or maybe their play will be to be overwork into 12? Can you just see that happening?
I can, yes. The problem is they both have banana bunks, so they can potentially both have havens, which is probably the best unit you can have on wave 12. So
But do
I
they
don't
have
know. I
anything
wouldn't mind.
else?
I think they have really strong late game rolls on Widderson and Adams, so I actually really don't mind them taking Savior and taking the game late.
So let's see. So no sends are coming for either team.
So 21% King HP over here.
We
Let's
do
see
see
if they
have
take the same.
we do
Giant
have the
Snails on
Azir,
Egekaer
Kingdanzz Savior.
and Safe again, so that he can afford the Haven.
Oh, yeah. And what are the Banana Boys deciding to?
I think they're going to go Savior, but I think they're going to wait right up until the end.
Yeah, that might be the play. And we see the Fire Roll, so he's safe with the Kingpin as a front line. Widderson is safe with the Azuria, but Widderson is looking very weak on wave 12, so I think Adamus will need the second Kingpin for next.
And he'll get it. Yeah, the double Savior from the Banana Boys.
Okay, so safe plays. But Egekaer going for the Giant Snails, and these Giant Snails will be for the Kingpin player.
Giant Snail's really good against Kingpins actually, just because they waste so much of their time.
Okay, so the sends are coming on 12.
Here's the send. Are we going to see an answering send from Banana Boys, or are they going to go for wave 13?
Oof, I think they need to go here.
They're not
Wait,
going,
they don't.
so they're playing to hold.
But I don't see Widderson holding anything close.
He doesn't
To
need
anything.
to. Adams has got two highly stacked Kingpins.
You're quite right with that. Does he have any gold left? No. Okay. Um, let's see. So the
I
base
wouldn't mind
recommended
them
value
maybe
for the
throwing
wave
on
is
like.
okay. So the base recommended value for the wave is 1700. Adamus is at 19.9, 1910, let's say. So it's 200. And they're receiving how much? 280 is slightly below value. So this should be enough for the Kingpin to hold.
And they can go wave 14 now. And Team 2 are pretty damn weak on 14.
Yeah, 14 seems very good now. But they must not push too much here.
I mean, they can. They're holding this send, and they're definitely in control of the game now.
And you like to see the Azuria spell here.
This is a pro leak from Widderson.
Yep. Oh my god. Will this be wave? This will be wave
Banana
14.
Boys, oh my god, this was just an insane comeback from these guys.
Oh my god.
They were so far behind after the 6.
Yeah. It was 300, maybe 400. We'll see the graph after to see the exact value, but this was so far behind. And they decided to go here.
They send 13. I think they should have gone 14.
But the Kraken is quite good against those violets.
The Kraken's great against the Violets, but I think they're.
I think it's a mistake sending 13 against the gates though. It does not have the front line to protect it though.
He doesn't. The Haven will die really quickly.
Hmm. And we see King up, so I think this is the right play for Egekaer and King. And if they don't leak all of the wave, they should be in a good position. So let's see there. Widderson and MS are now ahead. In workers, they're a little bit down in value. But if we see the differential, it's approximately 200 gold. And so it's equivalent to 4 workers, and so they are still ahead after the differential.
Yeah, and you were right about Kingdanzz. Although he's got crazy value, not having the front line means the golems just get to his gate before it can summon enough units to make it worthwhile.
I do not think
So,
this is enough to kill them, though, with the King Ups. They are
no,
pretty
but it's
much...
enough to put Banana Boys massively in the lead.
Yes. And so they survive. And if Kingdanzz can get the late game with the gates, maybe he has a chance. But the
Do they
state is
survive?
just not on the... oh, did
This is
they?
game.
This is game. Oh,
Wow. The Banana Boys with the 3-0
the
reverse
reverse
sweep.
sweep.
That's crazy.
And so the
Well
Banana
played,
Boys are
Widderson. Well played,
just
Adams. That was
winning.
fantastic gameplay.
So Banana Boys are the winner of the show match, promoting the Master Cup happening next weekend, and they both receive a $25 from me, and yeah, very 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 good play by them, and so this concludes the show match. A very impressive last game, very good comeback play from Widderson and Adamus,
I
and
see everyone in chat agreeing with us because they've got the delay. They're all saying that 14 was a better send,
yeah.
which is what me and you thought as well. But that's why Banana Boys are the champions and we're not.
Yeah. So at one point I was saying, yeah, okay, they don't die here, but then you just brought me back and say, wait, they die, wait.
That's just crazy well played from the Banana Boys. That's amazing. The
And
reverse
the
sweep
reverse
there was
sweep,
really,
so
really well
oh my
played.
god. So
These guys just showing why they're like amazing Legion players right now. They're just so strong together.
so for those who believe that comebacks are impossible in Legion, this is the perfect example to this is the perfect example to say to you, it is always possible.
Yeah, that was just crazy well played. And I've got to say, like, Team 2, Kingdanzz and Egekaer, they played extremely well as well. Those first two games were like pretty damn one-sided, I'd say, in their favor.
Yeah,
And
but
then,
see the difference. This is part of why the format is interesting, because we saw just something very interesting here. Team 2 in the first 2 games, they decided to at least one player having greed, right? And so after that, they didn't have any greed option, and so they needed to win without the bonus income, and they were mostly confident on their ability with the greed. And then after that, they needed to make it work with both reroll and lock-in, and we can see that maybe it's player base and team reliant, but a mix of the two seems to be working for some team. And when Widderson and Adams decided to go just for the same thing 3 games in a row, like the first game was the redraw, and then it was the lock-in, and then it was the greed. And so you can see really the different aspect of strategy and how it works with different teams.
yeah, really clever, I think. It was great to watch. The strategies that they brought in just with those mastermind options, I think is in ladder, I think the impact is kind of subdued, but when you see it played at the top level in a tournament like this, the mastermind options clearly bring in a lot more versatility to the game.
All right, since it is late,